Hey, welcome to Swamp Rat Productions. I'm Martin Herrera. Thought I'd go ahead and get started with this knot tying class. First, I want to say that I'm in no way an expert. I have no certifications in anything. I've never been rock climbing or rappelling, so I don't know much about that. As far as I know, 90% of the knots I'm going to be showing you over these lessons have nothing to do with climbing and are not intended so. So, don't even try that. So, obviously we all know there are tons of different types of cordage out there. Everything from original handmade plants that work great from this is actually yucca cordage. That's pretty primitive right there, and the stuff works great. You've got things that are the jute twine and flax, which are made from hemp, and those of course work great. Older things like manila, all those natural cordage have their place and use, usually for simple tasks, tying things up, tying a bag close, carrying something. Obviously you'd never go rappelling with manila or jute twine or anything like that. Got different things like bungee shot cord, which are great for tying things down. Standard thicker cotton rope of all sorts of different sizes. This one's way thinner, and that's usually used for like clothesline or something like that. More multi-purpose things, as most people know, like paracord and bank line are fantastic. Regular jacketed nylon, thick 3-strand. So you can see that there are many different types, and all of them have a different use for a different reason, which is why it's important to always go through and know what you're going to be using your cordage for. Now, throughout these lessons, in fact most of them, I'll probably just be demoing with this standard yellow and black line. It's got a paper inner core, and it's jacketed. I think it's only about 75 or 100 pound test, but it shows up well on camera. But most of our use that I'm going to be using this for bushcraft and stuff like that are going to be bank line and paracord. Now, of course, with that, there are even fancier and nicer style things like polyamide, like I said, which is nylon, polyethylene, polypropylene, and fancier things like Spectra and I think Vectron. And they have just, a plethora of all sorts of different types of ropes, again, for a specific reason. I'm also going to go ahead and show you guys some of the different categories that rope can fall into as far as knots. For instance, you have joining knots or bend, things that are actually used to connect the ends of two ropes. Now, some of them are suited for tying things like monofilament or shot cord to a regular line, and some absolutely aren't. For instance, the vice versa knot is really good for that. It allows a good crisscross pattern and works great for extra thin line on a standard rope, or like I said, shot cord. All knots actually fall into, like I said, different categories, like the bend. Hitching knots, which would be used, let's say, for using a metal ring and attaching a line to it, or hitching it around a post. You've got other knots that form a static loop, which is good for attaching to or attaching things to it. Also, you have ones that have a sliding loop, usually referred to as nooses. So as you can see, with so many different choices of knots that you can use and different choices of rope to be used, it's important to know what you're dealing with and what you plan to use it for.